It's time for my November TBR. I am back to playing my TBR game. Last month was the first month in, I think, almost 2 years that I have not played my TBR game, and I missed it, so I'm excited to get back into it this month. I'm trying to do a lot of reading in November, but I'm not really doing much outside of that. So this is a very chill month. I'm not doing any readathons. I'm not doing any book clubs besides my own things. So I'm excited to just be able to focus on reading this month. I'm attempting to read my entire physical TBR by the end of the year. Not sure if that's realistic, but I'm going to try my best. So I'm going to pick as many as possible from my shelves. But I also do have a really fun video planned for November, so I have some books for that I need to read, and I'm going to fit those on. So everything on this TBR should be in a vlog coming this month. So let's get into the game. For this round, I think I'm going to start up here in the thriller room and see where it takes us. I will be trying to go into horror here, but I don't have faith in the board. So we'll see how it goes. Roll 1. 14 and doubles, so any doors are unlocked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to be chaotic. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. A thriller that a friend gave 5 stars. I picked a book that is from my shelves that I know my friend Sherry, who is in my Patreon, gave 5 stars. So I have Drowning by TJ Newman. I went to an event with her like a month ago at this point, so I have a signed copy. This is about a plane that goes down and then they're underwater, and it has a movie coming, which is very fun. The author was so cool. The idea of plane books is just like very stressful, like high action, high stakes. So I think this could be one that I really like. Roll 2. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4. Door is locked. Remove 1 book from TBR. Well, I only have 1 book, so I will be removing Drowning. I don't have to give you an explanation because this is the only option. So this is now off my TBR. Okay, well, I guess we can't go that way. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, well, I don't have anything to remove, but I guess that's locked. I guess we'll try to go back to horror. 13. Another thriller that I read with Libro FM. For this, I went with Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. She was also at the event that I talked about with TJ Newman. They were on a panel together that my friend Michelle was moderating, so it was so much fun to watch. And this is such a cool cover. Here's the thing. I talked to her about it. I was like, I know everybody probably tells you, but like, I love this cover. I think it's such a fun concept. And she said that she had to fight for it. And I was like, I'm so glad you did. And she said that she got a cake when it came out that said, I told you so. I think it was something like that. And I was like, I love being petty. Congratulations. And she thanked me. So that was a fun little interaction that we had. It was rated T for thrilling. I haven't read Geneva Rose. I've heard good things, and I think that this one will be a lot of fun. A mother passes and 3 estranged siblings reunite to sort out her estate. That's all I want to know. I have a book club on my Patreon every other month, and for November we are reading Home is Where the Bodies Are, so we will be discussing it in Discord a little bit, and then we have a Google Meet discussion where we get to actually chat and hang out and talk about the book, so I'm very excited about that. I love twisty thrillers, and I don't mind if things are like over the top and ridiculous, and I've heard that about her books a little bit, so it's actually a positive thing for me, and I'm really looking forward to it. Roll 3. 11. Doubles, so unlocked door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A horror book that I got from a book box. For this one, I got my latest Twisted Retreat pick, which is Do What Godmother Says by L.S. Stratton. This is a new to me author, but there's this very cool edition with stenciled edges, foiling, end paper. There's a deadly secret, and it's dual timeline gothic thriller. This is actually another one where they're like going to clean out an estate after somebody dies and like sort out possessions. I'm sure this is so different from Home is Where the Bodies Are, but interesting that it's like a somewhat similar concept. So this is really pretty. I want to get to it while it is new on my shelves. It's not super long, but kind of longer than I thought it was going to be. Based on this, like, would you have expected that's almost 400 pages? These are very thin. Anyway, This is on my TBR. Roll 4. 5 and more doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any genre that I bought new. So much freedom with this prompt. So previously for my Patreon, there was a perk to give 2 book suggestions to a little, it was called a potato pot because my Patreon is potato themed. And you could give 2 suggestions, and if I pulled the Patreon picks card, then I would pick a book from that like randomly and pick between the 2. But that prompt never came up, and I just like wanted to change it to something that I think people would enjoy more because it's a little more interactive. So I put up a poll on Patreon, and I just put obviously 3 books that I bought new. I put Cicada, which is a horror novella, Nowhere Like Home, which is a thriller, and Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, which is a romance. And the winner was Not in Love. This actually is the only Ali Hazelwood I have not read. I don't read a lot of romance, but for some reason, Ali Hazelwood is my go-to. I end up really loving her books. Not the novellas really, but all of her full-length novels I've really enjoyed. I've actually read 3 this year, and 2 of them were 5 stars. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. It says, a forbidden secret affair proves that all's fair in love and science. I just really love the way she writes her characters. They're very engaging. The plot is always interesting. Her characters are like kind of all similar. I think this one is a little bit different. I don't think this one is as much of a rom-com. I think it's a little more serious. So I think that'll be interesting to read, because even Bride was like kind of funny. But this has to do with food science, which is a little different and kind of fun. So very much looking forward to this, even though it's not typically in the genres that I read. I think I'm going to really love it. Roll 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another in any genre that Winston picks. So here is the situation. Winston has recently been put on a pill that we've been like testing the dosage for, and he currently is on half a pill and he won't eat it out of his bowl. I promise this makes sense and is relevant. So he has to get the pill shoved down his throat every 3 to 4 days, and he's very skittish around me and food right now. I feel very bad for him. Like, he'll come and sit with me and he'll come cuddle, but if he's eating or there's any sort of treat involved, he wants nothing to do with me and he thinks I'm trying to trick him. So I tried really, really hard. I tried in 4 different locations, and he was not having it until I stopped filming and just put the treats in a pile in front of him. He's like, I know you're up to something. And I'm like, yes, I was, but just recording him eating a treat. We are gonna go with this clip where he just like looks in a direction and it's pointed at a book. Very scientific. Child abductions 30 years apart. There's some cult stuff. I have this Twisted Retreat edition. I am a little scared for this one. I maybe have not heard the best things about it. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm still gonna read it. It's a very pretty edition. I like this. This is so cool. Ah! I don't... Very pretty. So I will be reading this as well. Roll 6. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Oh my god. Doors locked. Remove 1 book from TBR. You know, there's a rule. This was added in like months and months and months ago, but I can never remember. So for the last 2 that I had to remove a book, Red, Die, Odd, and I did not follow that rule. So it was Odd, and I followed the remove a book. So for this round, we're gonna go with it being even. I don't have to remove a book, but the door is still locked. Here's the thing. That is confusing. I understand that. But there will be a new board coming for the new year, so we won't have to deal with that anymore. So we're just gonna go with it a little longer. And I talked so much, I truly don't know how many I moved. I think I was here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That feels right. We're just gonna go with that. So sorry if it's wrong. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Doors finally unlocked. 13. So a mystery from a new to me author. I'm almost positive this is a new to me author. I've read so many books that I feel like every once in a while I don't realize that an author wrote a different book or whatever. But I have The Family Plot by Megan Collins. True crime obsessed parents and her twin brother disappeared when they were 16. Her dad died and she returns to the house and finds that her brother is buried in her father's plot. There's a serial killer. She's dealing with grief. It sounds so interesting. So we have this on my TBR. Roll 7. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doors unlocked. 6, 7, 8, 9. A horror book that I read with Everand. It used to be called Script. So, you know how I talked about that really fun video that I have planned? This is one of them. Blood Like Mine by Stuart Neville. The audiobook for this is on Everand, so I will be listening to that. A snowy December night. Someone drives a van into a snowbank to avoid hitting an elk and then refuses help from a man in a pickup truck. And her daughter, Moonflower, is on the run. I don't know what's happening. I guess there's an FBI agent and a serial killer. If we're being honest, I have not read this synopsis before. I didn't pick the book for the video, if that is helpful. But also, do I read the synopsis of most books anyway? Not really. Roll 8. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another horror book that I read with the audiobook. I have the physical book of this, but I will be reading with the audio. I have read the 3 books I've read from this author with the audiobook and really enjoyed all of them. So I will be reading Cackle by Rachel Harrison. I'm so excited to finally be getting to this. I'm doing a Rachel Harrison read along on my Patreon. So October we read So Thirsty, which is her newest release. This month is Cackle, and then we'll be reading The Return in December. And then we are chatting about all of these books on Discord. I have heard truly incredible things. Is that a piece of tape? Interesting. So distracted about this one. Really excited to get to it. I know it's a cozy horror. A young woman meeting a witch who might be too good to be true. Seeking a fresh start with a teaching position in a small village. I've never read the synopsis. I actually had no idea what this was about. I mean, witches was what I assumed with Cackle, but, you know, I'm doing great over here. Roll 9. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Door is locked. Remove one book from TBR. So we have to remove a book. I never know what to do with these, especially when every book is planned for a video. So I just picked one at random. I'm hoping to still get to it. We'll see, because I want to read a million things in November. So I will be removing The Family Plot, truly for no reason other than there were a few books I didn't want to pick and then I just picked a random one. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Another horror book in my favorite subgenre. So my favorite subgenre is very hard to commit to. I am not saying this is my favorite out of all of the possible options. It's just one that I like, so don't hold me to it, but I love a good bug horror book, so that's what we're going with. And I will be reading Cicada by Tanya Pell. This is number 4 in the Killer VHS series. I read Candy Cane Kills earlier this year. You might be seeing Candy Cane Kills again in a video coming very soon, and that releases next month. This one came out in October or the end of September, and it's cicadas. Cicadas are disgusting. I don't know if you have cicadas where you live, but growing up, we had cicadas everywhere, and they just like leave their shells, and then it's like a whole bug shell with the legs, and it's just like stuck to things. Anyway, I'm gonna read this book, and I'm really positive it's gonna disturb me. There's a horror film festival about giant killer cicadas, and then she realizes she's starring in the bloody sequel of that movie when people start dying. I think this is gonna be so fun and really freak me out. Roll 10. 11. Doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sci-fi. Picked with a random number generator. So I counted all these sci-fi books on my shelves, and I have 10. I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but a lot of my favorites are sci-fi, so I've been collecting a few. So we got number 4. So that one, just like on my TBR shelf, counted them in order. So I'll be reading A Brief History of Living Forever by Jaroslav Kalfar. I probably did pronounce that wrong. An authoritarian near-future America obsessed with digital consciousness and eternal life. 2 long-lost siblings risk everything to save their mother from oblivion. I think I really like AI technology sci-fi. I think there's a lot of really good commentary in books like that with like the direction things are going on with technology in the real world. I have not heard anybody talk about this book. I just got it from Aardvark in 2022 when they started. I've had this one for a really long time. A lot of my oldest owned books are sci-fi books because I keep putting them off because I'm scared of them. So we're finally gonna get to one. Roll 11. 11. I don't know how that keeps happening to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. So close. Another sci-fi book that Nova picks. More sci-fi, which I do need the push to read, so I'm excited to get to some more. And Nova, you don't have to ask her twice to pick a book for me with a treat. She just loves it. It's her favorite thing. So she had 3 options. I picked a variety of different kinds of sci-fi books, and she decided to go with the space sci-fi. So I will be reading The Immortality Thief by Taryn Hunt. I don't know anything about this. I went to Mel's house from Eleanor Reed's in January, and I perused her unhaul closet of shame and took some, and I'm gonna read it. Off the edge of human existence, beside a dying star, lies a nameless ship, abandoned and hidden, lost for a millennium. But there are secrets, terrible secrets, that would change the fate of humanity, and eventually someone will come looking. I still don't really know what to expect from this book, but this is a very pretty edition. I'm still trying to find my taste in sci-fi more, like outside of Andy Weir and Blake Crouch, so I think this will be a really fun one. Roll 12. You've escaped. Oh, so we have 9 books on my TBR for November, but there are some like bigger ones. Okay, bigger for me, mostly just this one, but I feel like some of these are longer than I think. So I have a lot of reading to do. Coming up on my channel in November is a tiebreaker round from Recommendation Rivalry, which is a series that I did in October, where I was pitting 9 platforms against each other to see where I could get the best recommendations from. I read 3 recommendations from each in every video, and there were some ties, so I am settling that, so there will be an episode of that coming. I'll have another episode of attempting to read my physical TBR, hopefully by the end of the year, maybe not. But I have such a fun idea planned for that. I'm really excited for it. And it's gonna be so stressful. And then I have some other things coming to my channel as well that you don't want to miss. I'd love to know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. Also, let me know what you're most looking forward to reading in November. If you made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, I'm always telling people to leave bug emojis. You can leave me a star for The Immortality Thief. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you soon. Bye.